Yo, what's up, guys? Damnation-n-Hellfire here with another rousing episode of Battle Pirates Crow's Nest. Tonight, we got Ross, good old faithful.
Good evening.
We got Dan, a.k.a. Vikes. Are you there, Vikes? Did you mute yourself?
I'm here.
Okay. And we found a pirate adrift in the oceans of the Battle Pirates world. We got Renato with us tonight.
Hey, guys.
And tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about, I think there is, well, somebody told me there was a raid going on. I don't know. I went out and hit one target, and that was pretty much it for me. So I don't know. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about all that and what happened in the update this week. So here's the game plan. We're going to go over the bug fixes and tunings and the retrofit slides real quick. And then we're going to get straight into the raid and the complaining portion of the show this evening, which I'm sure everybody is looking forward to that section. So that's our game plan. So let me do some screen sharing here and we'll get started. All right, so bug fixes and tuning. They fixed issues with combat not functioning properly. Well, that's pretty much the whole game, right? That's all. They fixed issues where explosive scope was displaying too much range in the equipped hulls. There were some quite fun screenshots with that when it first came out and applied to certain hulls when, you know, the range ring would go clear outside the base because it was, what was it, like 208 range or something crazy it was displaying?
Yes. Yeah, it was.
That's correct.
But they also fixed an issue where the gantry modal was continuously popping up for some users. It didn't happen to me, although I know for a long, long time when I would view a friend's base anytime that it would pop up then. So I guess this was a different issue that some people had where it would just continuously popping up, and they got rid of it. And the big one, they fixed the issue where newly recorded playbacks would kick a user to the world map. So any playbacks you had that happened previously to this fix will still kick you out to the world map, but any new hits going forward will now work properly. So yeah, that was the bug fixes and tuning. Anybody really have anything they want to say about that, or pretty self-explanatory?
No, I mean the playback one was the one I was glad to see. But the rest I didn't know about. I mean, the explosive scope was, I did know that was basically a display deal, so I was okay with that in sense. I was having other issues than just display, but I'm glad that that's fixed.
Yep. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about real quick is the Skyfire carrier retrofits. At R1, you get some more extra ship deflection and structure deflection. The same thing at R2, you get even more ship deflection and structure deflection. At R3, your ship DPS is increased to 12K. At R4, your berserk projectile speed goes from 100 to 150%. And berserk combat speed goes from 50% to 75%. UAV damage from 60 to 70%. And weight increase from 9150 to 12,200 at R5. And Ren, did I not see you say that once again this doesn't affect the flagships at all? So you're going to be all mismatched again?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have increased weight on the regular Skyfires and Phoenixes, and you don't have the extra weight on the flagship. So whatever improvements you make, whatever specials or weapons, you just can't make them to the flagships. I also think they missed a great opportunity to adjust the regular Skyfires to have the same field resistance that the Guts Pew has. I don't know if you noticed, but whenever your complete fleet goes through a field, the Guts Pew gets through it faster than the other Skyfires, so the fleet mismatches, and they didn't fix that. It's a missed opportunity, if you ask me.
Yep.
Well,
now, and if I'm not mistaken, like ages and ages and ages ago, when they first started doing retrofits and would apply it to stuff and not the flag, we had a big thing about that. And then they were finally realized, oh, yes, you guys are right. And they just automatically had it applied to the flags. Am I correct in that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the old flags, like the Green Shine Zerker or the Highland Nuclear Cruiser, they're all in there. So it's not like there's something in the game code preventing them from refitting flagships, retrofitting flagships. It's in there. It's been done before.
Yeah. So
I just think it's lazy because they did the same with the Prides, with the Rages. You know, like you can even use now a Pride fleet if you wanted to with the retrofitted Prides, but not the flagship. They don't match. Like the flagship won't survive a fart from a new turret, right?
Yeah, I mean, it just goes back to what we've said for ages now. It just seems like they don't learn from past mistakes and tend to repeat them over and over.
Yep. Well, 6 years and a half doing raids, and look at this one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Good point. Good point. We'll get to that quick. We'll get to that quick. Just hold out a little bit more. Phoenix retrofits at R1. You get more ship deflection and structure deflection. Same thing at R2. Then at R3, your ship DPS increases to 3K and structure DPS goes up to 2K. And R4, your R turn speed increases from 50% to 100%. And R5, your R projectile speed increases from 0 to 25% and weight increase from 9150 to 122. But yeah, just like we said on the Phoenixes, these things do not apply to the flag. So pretty big fail there, in my opinion. All right, so guess what, guys? There's a raid that started today. Started at 9 a.m. kicks time this morning. And as you all know, the relocation was turned off. Sector threat was turned off. Base parts was turned off. Gantry targets were turned off. Although we haven't had those forever. But they turned them off. Daily campaigns were turned off. And your friends list is limited to 10. And guess what? For the biggest majority of the day, my dock has been turned off. I don't know about anybody else, but my dock's been turned off for most of today. Who wants to go first? Ren, you're the guest. You can go first.
There we go.
Okay. So can I talk about raid for real?
Yeah,
for real.
Talk about raid for real, man. Just let her fly. Whatever's in your brain that you want to say it.
Hey, 6 years and a half doing raids, and they have not learned a thing. This raid is ridiculous. It's like amateurs. Like, this is not a professional thing, you know. And this bullcrap on the message now saying, oh, we adjusted the targets, they're easier for you, but remember, it's the first month of the cycle, yada, 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 BS. Guess what?
Let me read that real quick just so people know what we're talking about.
Go ahead. That's important.
Rampage posted just a little while ago. It said, through the hard work of the Forsaken, the Draconian defenses have been weakened. The 100, 89, 83, 81, 69, 65, 63, and 61 event targets are now easier to defeat. As a friendly reminder, we are coming off of the siege cycle where you had 4 months to build and optimize your fleets. The start of a new cycle has fresh targets for you to improve your mastery over as the cycle progresses. Okay, now go ahead with what you were saying.
First of all, that is so patronizing, condescending. It treats players as morons, right? Because anyone with half a memory knows. And I'm going to compare. I'm in a very similar position now as I was in January for the first siege raid, where I had 4 Buccaneers. They had all cannons. They had all but 1 special, so they were missing 1 special. And they only had 2 pieces of armor out of the 4. I'm better prepared now, where I have 4 Manticores, all weapons, all specials. In January, I was missing 1. And 3 armors. In January, I only had 2. Okay? I have a video on my YouTube channel showing my 4 Buccaneers in January doing a set of 80s, which was comprised of 3 targets for 47 minutes of damage. Okay? First raid of the cycle, incomplete ships, 47 minutes. Now, I was doing them only 280s to complete a set, so in theory it should be easier. 2 hours and a half on average. 213 was my best time. 251 was my worst time. On average, let's say 225, 230. I just tried the set now, before the show went live, after the announcement. And yes, they are easy. So I went from 2 hours, 30 minutes repair to 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Oh, well, there you go. You saved the whole 20 minutes. Everything's well and good.
Exactly.
And they battle pirates
right?
now.
But remember, it's the first month of the cycle, and you guys are a little bit dumb. So, of course, you're going to take more damage because, you know, you're slow to adapt, right?
Yeah.
Now,
we only been...
now, let's look at the real community. I know I'm ahead of most people for this raid. I have 4 manticores. Most people I know have 2 or 3. Is that true?
Correct.
Yes.
I barely have 3.
I have 3 fully built, and I'm halfway on my 4th one, which is a whole nother fiasco because I had intended to get my tokens, generic tokens, during this raid to finish it up. Yeah. And we can't do that.
Exactly. No tokens. No generic tokens.
We'll get into that part later, but go ahead, carry on.
So my 80, just the 81 after it was tuned down 30 minutes ago or whatever. Just the 81 gave my 4 manticores 47 minutes of damage. A whole set of 80s in January was giving my buckies 47 minutes of damage. This is ridiculous. And participation levels are tanking, and I hope they keep tanking and nobody spends up dying because they don't deserve it. That's my piece. Said it.
I totally agree with you on that. Obviously I'm not going to tell anybody else what to do, but I will say this. I have hit 1 target. I saw what that target did to my boats. I docked my boats, and I have not hit anything since then. And I will not hit anything until they get these things doing a reasonable amount of damage. It's very obvious to me that these targets have been tuned around people having 4 regular boats and a flagship done, which is absolutely fucking impossible since we haven't even gotten the flagship yet. And this raid is a freaking disaster. And what annoys me even more, and I'm sure I'll get lots of fan mail for this, but, I'm that guy who says stuff that pisses the community off sometimes, but it's true, is what flabbergasts me is the people who will sit there and complain about how much damage they're taking, yet also be spending the coin to get through it. The
guys blitzing the 89s and just coining them 50 times.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to bitch and complain and think that the target is doing too much damage, well, have the fucking balls and the tenacity to back up what you're saying with your actions. And, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I had to say about that. I mean, the raid damage is way over the top, and until it changes, and to me, like a 20-minute decrease on 1 target is not a change that's significant enough for me to be like, oh boy, I'm going to go start raiding again.
And the problem, and we kind of discussed that before we went live, it's maybe the damage is not wrong. Maybe the damage, when you compare this assault cycle with the assault cycle of 2017, with the assault cycle of 2016, maybe the damage is just the same. The problem is the repair time creep up, right? The Apollo, a well-built Apollo would repair in 90 minutes. A well-built Phoenix would repair in 180 minutes. A well-built Manticore will repair in 4 hours and 20 minutes. So if the damage is the same when you compare an 80 from 2016, an 80 from 2017, and an 80 something from now, whatever, just there, you went from an hour and a half to 4 hours and change. So of course, for each damage point you take, you're taking a lot longer to repair, and maybe they're completely missing that point, right? And it's just insane.
That is correct. That is correct. The repair times have creeped up more than they should have.
Yeah, 3 times in 2 years. 3 times longer to repair a ship than it was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
And
I would say at that point that's not a creep. That's like a leap and a bound at that point.
Yep.
but
Because you
we're,
think
we're,
about it, take the repair time we have now from an 80 set, like the one I just had, 2 hours and 5 minutes, divide that by 3. That means Apollo's taking comparable damage would be repairing in about 40 minutes.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, yeah,
And everybody would be happy
yep.
with 40 minutes repair for a set. Okay?
oh yeah,
You know, but now, because of this stupid repair time, you take that same damage and it's 2 hours and something for what? Less than 2 million points.
I mean, I guess in the end, it's the same way. If they cut the repair time in half, then it would be there. But also, if they would cut the damage in half, it would also be there. Because, like, and we were talking about this a little bit before the show, that like at the end of the day, unless you're like getting sniped or getting totally sank, an hour of damage is an hour of damage, no matter how much the total repair time on the hull is. You know what I mean?
yep.
So, but I think they could reach the goal that we're all looking for if they did either one of the two things. But Ross, you've been kind of quiet. What's your experience been like so far today?
Well, it's a hard one for being an alliance leader. Once again, it's a, you know, I truly am. I'm at the point myself where I expected this, and that's I expected it. So I'm really not doing the community freak out like it is. I changed my name to Game Error. I've been Ross Crow for 7 years, and I changed my name to Game Error. That's how I feel about the entire game right now, and not just the event. The performance of the game is at an all-time low for me. I'm looking at it as a kind of a different player. I'm not the greatest driver. I play for entertainment, and truly entertainment only. I don't really care about. I know I have a budget. I spend a large amount, I think, on fun. This isn't fun for me. So what I did today was I hit a couple targets. I realized how much fun I was having, and then I looked at how much I spent on BP, and I clicked on the settings, and I went to the payments, and I just determined how much fun that is. And so then I compared to see what I could do in the real world with what I spend on BP. And I could buy a whole new, and I'm a fisherman, by the way, and I get quite enjoyment. That's just another hobby and entertainment wise. So I thought
Wait, you fish? I had no idea.
Yeah, no one did.
So I just took exactly, by the way, the amount that I spend monthly on BP for fun, entertainment, not because it's mine or I don't care. It's just for fun. And I decided, what can I do? So I checked out the boat I could get. Holy cow, I can buy a whole brand new boat. That's right. Brand new, payments exactly what I spend on BP. Now, so what amount of fun there? Is this really fun? Is that boat fun? That's how I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? At this point, because I feel by a statement like that, I'm a coiner. Right? Honest to God, that's how I consider myself. And if you think I'm stupid, then I'll spend my money somewhere else where somebody doesn't think I'm stupid. And I guarantee that boat dealer is going to treat me a lot better than your support reps because I don't get shit. And that's how I feel about the game right now.
So there you go.
And I seen that boat you were looking at too.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
All right, Dan. So what's been your experience today?
Yeah, I did pretty much. I hit one target when I went out on the map. Yeah, it took 3 hours of damage from a 81 and said, yep, I docked it, started repairing, and didn't log in until they said they changed the damage and tried another target. And sure, they're a little bit easier, but the damage still is over the top for what we should be getting. You know, these are, I mean, I've been playing, 7 years too. This is the worst raid since my FFs were built. I mean, I usually put money on for every raid, and this raid I have not. I think this will be the first raid I will have very low participation in.
I'll tell you what, I honestly, people, you know, and sometimes I think they tend to do it too much, is overuse the comparison to the first Scourge raid. But I will tell you what, I actually participated more in the first Scourge raid than what I plan on participating in this one, unless they do something more drastic than what they've done so far. The first Scourge raid, I would at least go out, kill my fleet entirely, let it slow repair, and go out and hit another target. At this point in this raid, I killed my fleet off. It's been slow repaired now for like 3 hours, and I haven't bothered to log back into the game to go hit another target because I'm just so pissed off and so disgusted with the level of incompetence for running this raid that I just have no desire to do anything about it at all. And they refuse to listen to anything that's expressed to them, whether it's people who run shows that have access to them or people on the forums. You go on the forums and there's page after page after page of people saying this is too much. And they just refuse to listen. They just don't get it. Either they don't get it or they think they know better than we do. But at the end of the day, our wallets are what determines who knows the most. And keep that in mind when you're doing this raid, is all I'm saying.
Yep, they're seeing people spend, and as long as they're seeing that happen, they're not going to do nothing.
No, that's my point, and that's kind of what my point is. I'm not a base scrapper. I'm not a panic quit the game. I love this hobby. I love this game. I love the community. My friends are here, the whole bit, right? But I can spend my money somewhere else and talk in chat for free, and I'll do it because I do like the game and I like my friends. But if you want me to spend my money somewhere, you better not come up with a comment and treat me like a dummy, because hey, my money is greater than dummy comments. That's it.
And you know what you just said, man? It's just like, if they had just said, hey, the targets are a bit easier, guys, go try it, blah, 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 fine. That last comment saying, hey, remember it's the first month and you didn't have time to adjust, that's normal. That's the piece that's calling me a moron to my face, as if I don't have a memory, as if I'd never participated in a raid cycle before. That is flat out offensive to me.
Yep.
Okay, because it's calling all of us morons. Okay.
You know, to me, that's very reminiscent of some of the things that GDA was saying before he got pulled off the team.
I'm not into all that. I'm saying, yeah, I don't feel like I'm a valued customer, and I spend enough to be a valued customer, and that's all. And truly, if I played for free, I might feel differently, but I looked at what I spent, and I don't get that kind of valued customer. And so guess what? I'll spend it somewhere else. Somebody that doesn't send me dummy messages.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I mean, I guess people who own Acadies are having fun, I guess.
You know, it's a nice haul. It's a great haul. It should do well. And look at the build time. Look at the ranking time. So I know that we're looking at those players. I don't have the Cadies. I'm looking at them going, wow, I wish I had the Cadies. But look at the coin or time or whatever they have invested in that. In all honesty, they should be performing that way. That's how I feel that way.
Yeah, you know, it's always should always be like either you spend up front or you spend on the back end. It should never be both. So I totally agree. People who spend on the front end and they got the Cadies and they ranked the Cadies and they built the Cadies, I highly doubt they did it without coin, right? And it's great for them. It should really work well because they spent up front. Same thing for whoever has a complete or a nearly complete fleet of the overpriced manticores from last month, when they usually charge like twice or more the price they're charging now, right? So you got to grind the raid, and then you got to spend all your tokens and time and everything building those ships and ranking those ships. You should do well. They shouldn't expect you to coin now or to buy those dumb offers for tokens. That's another slap in your face. Hey, why don't you buy 30 days of tokens now to finish this ship that sucks?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this is honestly the first time in a long time that I felt like my preparation and my time and my effort that I put in ahead of time is not being rewarded at all.
Well, and we're the top end players here. What about these people? Well, I know about them because I have them in my alliance, and I hear about it, and I just feel for them right now, and I do just say, hang on. You do the fun things that you enjoy, and so do the fun things that you enjoy. Do the parts that, if you can do those parts, continue them. If you can't, then go do that. That's where I'm at. I think that because the people with the Skyfire fleet and the Phoenix fleet are getting nowhere, and what are they going to grind? They have too big of a repair to grind. They can't grind.
Yeah, well, last year, my last year's fleet of Skyfires did a set of 60s, but it's like 2.5 hours of repair after you score 500,000 points. And again, you could say, if you're smart, you don't repair the whole Skyfire fleet, you repair the flagship, that's 1 hour. So 1 hour, you repair the flagship, you go out there, you do another set of 60. So in theory, those guys could be doing, they have the complete fleet with flagship, could be doing 500,000 points per hour and change for free. Is it a pleasant experience? Maybe not, because you got to log in, hit 3 targets, hit repair, come back in an hour if you're not coining, right?
Right.
Now, the problem is new players. I just saw literally a guy, I don't know the guy, it was just a random guy in Sector.com saying, hey, my Skyfires can't even do a 41. And I'm like, oh, wait a moment. How come? Like, well, I got them recently and I just built 2 of them. It's a new player. The guy just got 2 Skyfires, and 2 Skyfires can't do a 41. They died before completing the target. Do you think that's right?
No.
That's a huge problem. That is a huge problem.
Yes, it is.
Yet they're totally oblivious to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new player, like I saw that the guy's ID, the base level, it's literally a young pirate there. He went through the motions. He did whatever TLC, he got the Skyfires, he's building the second one, or the third one, but he has 2 that are still worthy, and they died in a 41. What's wrong with these people?
Yeah, and even worse is it doesn't even have to be a new player. It could be somebody who's been gone for like a year or so and coming back and just did the TLC. They have all the knowledge. The tools they have aren't up to the task.
Yeah, it's a bad spot for them. I mean, and I don't really know what else to tell them, though. In all honesty, I mean, it's not a grinding rate. Well, I mean, just like you said, is how you'd have to do that. Well, that's not fun. So I don't know where the fun is in that.
And it's the problem with their mechanic to enforce people to build complete fleets, right? It's where, you have 5 ships. Each ship adds 200 deflection to all ships in the fleet. So the more ships you have, the stronger they all become. And the Skyfire is like that. The more Skyfires you build, the stronger they become because they have an aura that gives everyone more resistance. The problem is either you have the full fleet or you suck and you can't do anything. Same with the Manticores. People with 2 Manticores can't do 60s because 2 Manticores don't get the buffs from the Savage CIC enough, right? So they die in the 60s. This whole nothing in between, right? Either you suck or you can complete it. There's nothing in between. You can't get half a fleet and go a tier down because it's not working because you don't get the bonuses from having the 5 ships.
I think to me too, what was really cherry on the top to what was already a disastrous situation is the fact that how many people in the game do you think were counting on the generic ship build tokens that we've gotten for every raid for like, what, 4 or 5 years probably now? We're counting on them to finish out their third or their fourth mana core to be able to be successful in this raid. And those got totally yanked out from under us.
Yeah,
I don't.
And you know what? They could, if they were minimally professional, they could have communicated in a very simple manner. Think about it. Think about if 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, they had told players, dear players, because we gave everybody the opportunity to win 10 days of assault tokens last month, and because we have reduced the flagship build time from the usual 12 days, whatever, to just under 5 days, we're not going to be giving generic ships, generic tokens next raid. So plan accordingly. Wouldn't people feel a lot more valued as customers and able to plan and kind of, even if you don't agree, kind of understand their reasoning because, oh, they gave those tokens, they cut down the build time of the flagship. Okay, I'll go by without the 5 days of tokens. But no, it's always like, surprise, you're fucked.
Well, and you know, had they communicated that, I probably would have kept a more careful eye on my daily deals over the past few days and bought some one-day ship build tokens here and there. But instead, no, now you just got me pissed off and you ain't getting shit from me.
Yep.
Good job.
And by the way, the whole story that I told here, I'm kind of putting the pieces together myself and making up a story. It's not, I don't know if that's their story, if that's the reasoning behind it, if they even have an articulate reason behind it. It's just that to me, I'm like, oh, okay, they did this here, they did, you know, maybe they could have told that story and people would understand. And like you said, maybe even buy some daily deals or whatever. But it's just, I mean, it's missed opportunity after missed opportunity and, you know, lack of competence after lack of competence. 6 years and a half running raids, can't get one right.
It's, yeah, I don't know. It's bad. It's as bad as I've ever seen it.
And I'm the first one to tell them when they have a good raid, right? I think February raid was pretty good. March raid was pretty good. Last raid was okay. Other than the huge amount of points you need, which is really huge, like 400 million, 600 million, whatever. But, man, they can't make the transition. They always screw up on the transition.
Yeah, I don't know.
I scored 7, 8, I don't know, oh, wait, maybe 900 million in that last one. I have 16 because I tested them. That's what I had 200 million the first day, the last event. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, so on a slightly good note, the targets are nice. I do like how the targets are.
True.
That will, on a good note, that the targets are good.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do have some very interesting mechanics. I know, like, for autoing the pathing, at least in the 100 when I was watching it, the pathing was really good. I didn't have my stuff splitting up a whole lot. I wasn't running through stuff that I was like, oh, I shouldn't be doing that. You know, so yeah, I mean, the mechanics of the target, the look of the target, and the pathing of the target, in my opinion, was pretty good. It's just whether you look at it as the damage it puts out or the repair time of the hull itself, that's where you fell so far freaking short that it's not even funny.
Right. It's the damage or the repair time. Yeah, it needs to be addressed.
I think it's the repair time, you know. I really think, I mean, if that total repair time per ship was something below 3 hours, 2 hours and a half, think about it, right? Then you do a set of 80s or even like a 100, and instead of 8 coins like some people are spending, it's going to be 4. Instead of 5, it's going to be 2, 3, whatever. Then you put a grease monkey and this and that. Oh, and I'm going to coin, and everybody's happy.
Right. They'll get more coiners that way. I mean, they'll have more people coining.
Yeah.
Right now,
looking at the damage and probably scratching their heads. Well, the damage is reasonable. Yeah, maybe it is, but that repair time.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, let me get back into screen sharing here. We're going to bang through the rest of the slides, and then we can talk some more about the raid after we're done the slides. I just want to make sure I at least get the prize list and everything done for everybody so they know what's available. Let's see.
At that.
So, of course, you know, you have a little bit about the target. You have your prototype Kodiak that are equipped with prototype weapons. These weapons have a longer range, deal more damage. Boy, they weren't kidding when they said that. Deals more damage. And the weapons have a limited supply of ammunition. The same with the Interceptor. It can have, you know, the special attack and the limited supply of ammunition. And then you have the ammo carrier, which, of course, runs around with ammunition to reload those other ships when they run out. And then you have your Draconian turret carrier that usually has, is it 3 or 4 turrets on it? I usually only see 3, but this picture looks like 4.
The 100s have 4.
Okay. And they run around with turrets on it that, you know, shoot missiles or scatter guns at you and beat the hell out of you. Of course, you got your tier 8 targets. It's limited to tier 7 assault hulls. Very difficult target. Boy, that's the understatement of the freaking year. It's one new map target available on the world map. You get 1,500,000 points for killing it and 2.5 million for the completion bonus. And then your tier 7 targets are the 81 and the 83. They're worth 400,000, 500,000 points respectively. And you get a 1 million point completion bonus, and they're recommended for mana cores. And your restrictions are, it must be any tier assault or generalist hull of at least tier 7, and you can use the KDs to grind them out.
Now that's where I ran into, you know, an issue there too, because I was in the last events, I've been able to use prior lead hulls, at least in the tier 7, you know, targets. So I was planning on the Savage. That would have, that 50% would have sure helped my fleet at this point. So I want that noted too. I could do that last event.
Yeah, that definitely another place where they drop the ball.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, you know, honestly, even they should have even allowed them in the tier 8 target since we don't actually have the flag yet for the first raid cycle. They should have been like, okay, for this raid cycle, since you don't have the flag yet, you can actually take the Savage, you know, but be prepared the next raid cycle you won't be able to do that.
Right. I'm just saying I'm okay with whatever, but you should have told me because I could last time. So
well, Kyle Clement chat is saying that the Savage can be used in the tier 7.
Well, he can.
Gotcha. On to tier 6, you got the 61, the 63, the 65, worth 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 points respectively, with 250,000 completion bonus.
Minus the hit down penalty if you're a high level player.
Oh, yes, yeah. Correct. And then you have the recommended legendary ranked Skyfire Phoenixes, and yes, this does have the hit down modifier, but there's no restrictions. And
just so you know, sorry for interrupting.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
So that tier 6, you see 100, 200, 300. So you add that up is 600 plus the completion bonus. That should be 850,000 points, correct? It
should be, but as we all know, on your damage points, you hardly ever get what they say that you're going to get.
Yeah, I just want to say with the hit down penalty for me, I'm level 119, I think. From 850,000, it goes to 550,000.
Wow, that's a pretty big hit right there.
Yeah, that's the penalty if you're a high level player, which I think it's bullshit because it should be based on the fleet you're taking in. If those targets were designed for Skyfires and Phoenixes and I show up with a Skyfire fleet or Phoenix fleet, should be no hit down penalty. I'm not trying to hit it with Manticores.
There you go. Yep.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Because as we all know, player level means absolutely nothing. Tech is what matters.
Yep.
And then, of course, tier 5, you only got the one target. It's the number 41, and it pays out 30,000 with a 20,000 completion bonus. And it's recommended for legendary ranked Apollos. Has anybody actually seen anybody try to do that target with an Apollo? Just out of curiosity.
Nope.
No.
Because Because I know that, like, you know, one mana core, people try to do that with one mana core and they take a bunch of damage. I've even seen reports of people taking a decent amount of damage with Skyfires and Phoenixes. So I can just imagine if you try to use Apollos, how that's going to go. And also, there again, the hit down modifier applies and there are no restrictions. And then you got your blitz targets, all of which you can blitz 10 times. Level 89, which is 800,000 points and blitz minimum 5 gold. And the level 69, which is recommended for Skyfires and Phoenixes, and pays out 125,000 points with blitz minimum of 1 gold. And of course, you know, sector threats turned off, and there's all your uranium payouts, which are crap. So, you know, you get at 10 million points, you get a whopping 20,000. Woohoo!
Got to hit 10 million points first.
Yeah. Go over the blueprints for the top 2 prizes real quick, and then we'll bust out the list for the regular stuff.
If we can jump back, I guess they are saying, are people in chat really saying that I could use a Savage in the target?
In the tier 7, the 80s, you can.
The 80s?
In the 80s, you can. You cannot in the 100.
Okay, then I had that wrong. I'm a little happier, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you probably read the same way I did, and an alliance mate corrected me because I read it wrong. Because you see the tier 7 constraint there, but that's only for generalists.
Okay.
Okay.
It says any assault ship or tier 7, and then it says generalist tier 7. The way I thought, oh, it has to be all tier 7, but no.
Yeah, I totally misunderstood that as well. So yeah, I think that's just bad wording on their part. It made it seem like it was all together, where it was 2 separate things.
And I tried earlier, and I haven't released that video yet, but I tried the 4 Manticores with a Savage Kodiak in the corner, and it helps.
Okay. Well, good. Good deal. I'm glad that somebody was, you know, correct. And I didn't want to be putting out wrong information. I just read that wrong.
Yeah. Thanks for the clarification.
Look at it this way: if Kix can't put out the right information, we're bound to be wrong every now and then too. Ross, do you want to talk about the flag?
I sure do. It's the Makara's Mana Core. It's a Scourge assault weapon, tier 7. It's 20,000 tons. Armor points is 25,750. The ship has a DPS of 20,000. It comes with a structured DPS of 5,000. It has an anti-missile range 10% and anti-missile accuracy of 25%. The ship deflection has a ship deflection 800 and a structured deflection 400. Evade bonus plus 20%. Penetrative defense and corrosive defense are both at 50%. Now, this carries a tactical field resistance of 70. The combat speed on it is 28, turn speed 25, map speed 37. It repairs the same 3 hours. It has same weapon slots 8, armor slots 4, special slots 6, and the CIC. Cargo is the same at 6 million tons. Now, the flagship effects with this, it has a corrosive and penetrative damage buff of 30%. It also has a corrosive and penetrative reload of 30%. It carries with it a structured deflection plus 24%, and then a ship deflection of also plus 50%. Now, I don't know how much really that effect's going to be. Myself, my fleet needs some help, so I like the stats. So I wish the only thing I don't see a healing effect, so I'm a little bummed. I know there was a lot of people that were kind of looking to see, looking for another healing effect flagship, and they were extremely disappointed when this didn't have it. Well, I guess I want more than, or if I don't get the healing, I guess I want more than this myself. Just this structured deflection and the ship deflection nonsense. No, give me a damage buff boost across the board for my friendly bonus, and I might like the hull. So, But at that point,
but isn't do you mean a damage buff or do you mean a defensive buff?
a defense. Yeah, I'm sorry, a defense buff. Because right now it's got one that I can't figure out, and that's just calling it like it is and telling you the truth as a player. It's just I'm not sure on how much benefit it is looking at it and as a player.
Here's the thing, my opinion. Okay, it's this is a flagship that offers less than previous flagships, right? The Buccaneer Boon flagship or the Skyfire, the Gutspiel Skyfire, the flagship. Those flagships, they completely transformed the fleet. It was night and day.
Yes.
Right? This one, it's just an incremental gain. It is a little bit better than having just a 5th Skyfire because of that reload buff and damage buff of 30% across the board. That's unique. You know.
Right.
As for the rest, it's just another Manticore. So it gives less, but then it costs less to build. Because unlike the other flagships who are fully loaded, they will take like 25, 27 days to build. This one takes the same time as a regular, 1 day more than a regular Manticore. The naked flagship, I don't know if you have that on your slides, it's not there right now. It's under 5 days, and the regular Manticore is just under 4 days. So it's just 1 day longer than the regular Manticore, and you get those damage and reload bonuses. So, you know, takes less time to build, but gives you less. I think that's what it is. So it's a lot less important than former flagships. People who can get that, literally, I would just tell them, build a 5th Manticore and carry on. It's not a must-have.
Right.
I just wish when they were designing the targets, they would have kept in mind that this flagship doesn't offer the kind of boost that the other ones does. And, you know, it doesn't seem like they put that on.
You know, with that stupid repair time, I was expecting a healing flagship.
So that could be as a lower or a medium player, that could be a good thing because this might not be we're saying it might not be a make or break like the Buccaneer, the Boon was then, because you could just possibly, if they have the ability to possibly get the Manicore, they could just get a 5th Manicore.
Well, I mean, hell, let's be honest. You say a lower mid-level player, I'm thinking, honestly, at this point, with the way things are going, even a lot of high-level players aren't going to be bothered about, you know, spending all this time and effort and potentially coin to get this thing with no more cost than what it gives.
Yeah, because literally the only benefit you get is the extra damage and reload. You know, a regular Manticore with the Savage CIC will give you some deflection, will give you some speed and some other stuff in there. I think, you know, it's very close. The extra gain from the flagship, I'm gonna say, barely justifies. I think it's 50 million points to get one.
No, it's a nice special, in my opinion. It's a nice special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would actually honestly say if you can't get it this month, build a 5th Manicore and then grab it next month when it's probably like 20 million points. You know, you can go do it that route if you really feel that you have to have the flagship, but you can't get it this time. There's always next month, and you can just put a regular one in for a month. Then we also had the Chameleon Comprime. Did you want to talk about that, Dan?
Yes, the Chameleon Comprime. It's used for assault targets. Has some good flagship abilities. So it has a chain count of 1, ship DPS of 7,000, structure DPS of 7,000, a swarm cap time of 1 second. A chaining range of 50. Range is pretty good. Ship deflection 800, structure deflection 800, evade bonus 20%, ballistic, explosive, concussive, penetrative, and radioactive defenses and corrosive are all plus 20%. Has a combat speed of 27, turn speed of 25, the map speed of 37, repair duration of 3 hours and 20 minutes. Has 10 weapon slots, 4 armor slots, 6 specials, a CIC, and 8 million cargo tons. All right, the special effects for the bonus. Yeah, you get the extra range. It has a range of 70. Corrosive penetrative defense, get another plus 20. Your combat speed and corrosive damage, penetrative damage are all 15%. And you get the aura cap.
I don't know.
It's so.
I can't figure out chameleons, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of chameleons. I don't really like them. I've tried putting some things together to try to do stuff, and I haven't had much success with them. So I'm probably the last person in the world to really give any kind of advice on this move.
Yeah, I've got some built. I got the other prime built, and I still can't get things right. I just don't know what to do for sure.
I have a lot of people asking me, a lot of people having their tokens saved up. So I myself, I'm interested in looking into it. I haven't taken the time to try anything out because I'll be honest, I haven't gotten my primary fleets correct, or to how I like them. And it's just silly to me. So I haven't moved on to this yet, but I think as far as I'm reading, you know, I like the stats. I like what I see. I like the amount of tokens I have also. So I just don't know, you know.
Brent, I get the feeling you probably looked into chameleons more than anybody else on the show. What do you think about it?
I have a fleet built for the expedition. I tried. We got all that crap load of tokens in the last 2 raids, I think it was. Or, yeah, something like that. And just with those tokens, I was able to build 4 chameleons and the flagship. What is the flagship for last cycle? CR.
I think
it's just a regular chameleon prime.
Yeah, so I built that, and you know, to do expeditions, they're kind of okay for expedition. They don't do as well as the specialists, but building them for the assault cycle, it's a waste. Honestly, you'd be way better building Skyfires than building a fleet of 4 chameleons and this chameleon COM, because you won't be able to pass level 60 targets. They won't survive in the 80s for a very simple reason. In the 80s, a very important statistic is tactical field resistance. The Manticores have 70% base, and it gets increased by the Scorpion CIC, right?
Yes.
And they survive. And if you see, I mean, those turrets, the missile turrets and the special Savage Kodiaks, they all put you on ice fields. And those ice fields drop your resistances like huge if you don't have a very high tactical field resistance. So chameleons have 0. The assault CIC gives them 0. Even if you put a special in there, like tactical insulator, you know, you get 50%. So you're just going to die a horrible death in any 80s, no matter how good your build is. And then you're going to be facing a 5-hour repair time per ship. So if all you can do are 60s, build Skyfires. Then you only put 2 coins, 1 hour on the flagship, and you keep going, I don't know, it's something like 10 times cheaper to repair a Skyfire fleet than to repair a Chameleon fleet to do the same 60s. So it's like avoid it like the plague. That's my advice.
There you go.
Yep. I was thinking the same thing. I didn't think I was going to do any good getting it.
All right. For the regular prize list, you got the left side and the right side. Of course, the left side, you got all your stuff for the FM. You got the RFX engine, twin fire rockets, Inferno rockets. Then underneath that, you have Phoenixes with carbon fiber casings and Talon missiles that you can use in the current raid cycle if you choose. Although the Skyfires are probably the better choice just because of the flag. Then on the right-hand side, you got the Roaring Barrel system, the Panthera Scattergun, and the Manicore. And then you also have the Skyfire carrier, the UAV targeting circuitry, and the Hornet UAV. So I would say, I guess, you know, if you don't already have Manicores, try going for them if you can. It's probably not going to be an easy go. If you didn't get Skyfires the past week in the TLC, I guess you could try for those. So I guess my recommendations would be on the right-hand side. Unless, of course, if you don't have the Inferno Dragons on the left-hand side, that should be your number one priority.
I would think so. And in looking at it, if we're talking about not being able to do events any longer, and that's what we're going to be talking about, and seriously, let's go back to the basics then, and let's make sure you're covered on the weekly, and that's truly how I feel. You got to get the weekly to move on, and you have to be able to get all the way through the weekly each week. And so stick with all those Inferno Dragons. Please don't be picking the random just nonsense. That's the priority in the game, in my opinion, is the weekly, and then you move on from there.
Yep, that's what I tell my guys. I said, make sure you can do the weekly, then worry about everything else.
Yeah, I gotta say, like they did a decent job with the regular prizes. It's just like, here, don't get any crap. Here's what you really need. Either you need your FM stuff or you need your raid cycle stuff. There's no room for you to go stupid unless you get into the locked store, but then people getting there should know what they're doing.
Right.
Right.
Oh, and let's be honest, even in the left and right hand side prize list, there's still room for people to go stupid. Don't underestimate the BP players, Ren.
No, it happens.
I have a theory. Anyone still playing BP at this point is stupid. That's my theory. I'm just now talking in relative terms.
I was going to say, I think there might be a lot to that theory.
That's what we're told. That's what we're told.
Of course, then in the lock story, we got the flagship, which you can get two of. So, you can build both fleets. How about that? You get Savage CIC, the Warden, Missile Storm Cruiser, the Howie. You can limit on that one from 2 to 4. The Night Watch Countermeasure, the Siege Missile D55X, the CM-XM Reloader, the Precision Missile System, the Heavy Ballistic Shells, and then all your shards for the Hellstar, the Proto Nemesis, the Man of War, etc., etc. Is it just me, or does the lock section of the store almost feel more like a bounty than it does a PvE event?
It does, but I do like the prizes that I do like them. I want to touch on the the Howie part.
Yeah, let me finish the prize list for
the touch on my Howie.
All right.
Of course, you got KD shards as well. You got agility systems that you can. For some reason, it looks like that says 15, but it was 1, and they scratched it out to 5. Zithanite armor, the D5 slow armor, you can grab some of that. The Sloth build tokens, 24 hours. You can get them, 7 of them for 7,200,000 points apiece. You can get Brennus Unstoppable build tokens, a total of up to 8 of those. Missile Storm Cruiser build tokens, up to 7 of those. Onslaught 1-day tokens, 7 of those. Warden build tokens, 7 of those. Inferno Dragon build tokens, 7 of those. And then, of course, you can spend all these easy raid points that you're going to get on base parts, titanium, and uranium. All right, go ahead, Ross. You want to talk about the Howies?
Yeah, I wanted to make a point, if for those people that, like myself, that really are going to get limited points comparatively to what they usually do, that do not miss the fact that we still need to pick those turrets up. Those are in PvP, in my opinion, those are a must, and so I would get those for sure.
Yeah, I'll be 100% honest. The 2 Howies are higher on my priority list than what the flagship is.
For sure. No, I mean, in all honesty, I have 16 million points. I have the new Howies in already, so that's what my priority was, and I suggest that in base defense, and I really think that you're going to be almost to the point where you don't need a guard if you design it right. If it's designed right.
For 2 weeks until they release something to make the Howies useless again.
Right. No, and it will be coming, and it might even be, yes.
Yeah,
But
because I don't
but
think people with 4 Howies and 2 blunderbusses, I don't think any ship can survive the channel.
right. I would say the same thing.
I would definitely say the same. Of course, then we got the normal store. You got the Chameleon Com Prime, the regular Chameleon, Edge missiles, pneumatic launch actuator, the Manus missile, the advanced optical tracking. I still like the advanced optical tracking. I actually use that on some PvP hulls every now and then. Pulseless UAV. You got Phoenix build tokens. You can get up to 6 of those. You got that's for the 24-hour ones, and then you can also get 3-day Phoenix build tokens. You can get up to 5 of those. You got medium VXP tokens for Phoenixes. You got Skyfire 1-day build tokens for 900,000 apiece, and you can get 6 of those. And you also have does that say 5-day token there? Is that what that says? I do believe that's what that says.
That's what that says.
And you can get up to 3 of those for.
And that's a whole bunch of reasons for people to build Skyfires and not Chameleons. You see?
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
That's right. They got the tokens for them.
And then you can get 10 medium VXP Skyfire tokens for these Skyfires you're going to be building. And hey, look there. You can get a whole bunch of medium Apollo VXP tokens. You can get up to 10 of those. And then here you go. You got this is where you get the 50,000 base parts, the 10,000 titanium, or the 10,000 uranium. And you can also get 10,000 base parts, 2,000 titanium, or 2,000 uranium. Well, they're really pushing the varieties of the advanced resources that you can get this time, aren't they?
Well, in events like, I can't say that in some events doesn't come in handy. The last event I had so many extra points because it was an event where I could prep for medium and for other players, and I found enjoyment part in that ability to that added some fun, and so that made me score 900. I got 900 mil. So I got to take advantage of those type of things last time. This one here, nope. But I like this, and I like the multiple options too.
But don't forget, I mean, these resources will cost you raid points, and right now this is not a raid where it's easy to get points. So expeditions.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to have my Buccaneers docking tomorrow with 910,000 base parts. So I'm going to put 1 Howie tonight, wait for that to dock, put the second Howie tomorrow. That's my plan.
Hey, for the first raid and probably 3 raids, I followed my own advice and actually filled up on base parts before the raid started. So go me.
Yeah, man. Not only that, I mean, if you plan properly, I already removed the old turrets from the bases. I already changed the specials during the week. And of course, then you have the base part targets on the map. So I could do them, hit more targets, refill my base parts, change more specials, armor and whatnot, right? Move some stuff around. And so all I have to do now is put the Howie on top. The specials are there, the armor, the transformers, all I need is in place. And I'm full of base parts, and I have 910 dropping tomorrow from an expedition. That's planning.
That is.
Yeah. And something else to remind people too of, even if you don't have 2 level 9 turrets that you can throw your Howies on, if you strip everything off a level 8 turret, you can put just the Howie on it and still get the 25% bust from it. Which, and to me, is more important than half of the useless turrets that you probably have currently in your base.
Yep. I had a Halo and a level 9 turret, and it's useless. It's just there for the bonus. So I did all the work of moving the Halo to a level 8 turret so I can put the Howie on a level 9 turret.
There you go.
Yeah, they'll even fit on the portal if you have to. So
you know what? I was wondering, because I never saw anything like that. If you put one of those turrets on a portal, you still get the bonus. Do you know that for sure? It should, but being XI, I'm not sure.
We had that confirmed that it actually could die, and still you get the bonus. Is what they said.
Even if it's on a portal, that's my question, because I never heard anything about the portal behaving like the turret.
I don't know.
I think,
Well,
and I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think that the bonus is attached to the weapon itself, not the turret that you put it on. So you would logically think that if it was on a portal,
logically, yeah, but the source code program for a portal, maybe it's different from a turret, and then somebody forgets to write the line of code, and then it doesn't work. It's kickside.
Okay, I can confirm on the missile though, because I've done it.
Okay.
And I have it now currently, and
it makes a difference. So you feel like the bonus is there. Okay.
And Scott Klein in chat is also saying he has Executioner 2s on a portal, and he does get the bonus. So
yeah, it's definitely apparent there.
Thank you, because I never knew that for sure.
Yeah. And last thing but not least, if you claim the new flagship, you get a new badge, which kind of looks like an alligator with an elephant trunk
and a weird tail.
Yeah, it's kind of cool looking. It is a cool badge.
It's an alligator fish. That's what it is.
It's an elephant alligator, so it's an alligator.
I got a lure. I got a lure for it.
Fishtail at the end. Yeah, I'm sure Ross will probably catch it on his next fishing expedition.
I got a lure for it. I know that.
So I don't know. You got anything else you guys want to cover on the raid or anything? We're a little bit over time, but that's okay. If not, we can call it.
I want to stay positive in a note for myself, to my players and to the general community that let's remember that this is entertainment and we control the amount of fun we have, also to a point, because we actually feed this monster. We create part of this problem by our non-caring spending. And if we continue to play and have fun, let's even myself, I'm totally guilty of this, but from this step forward, I'm asking myself and my friends in the community, let's spend our money on some fun. And so when you see fun in the game, let's spend some money. That's it.
I'm not going to, nor would I ever use that big word that starts with a B. But I will say, yes, if you're not having fun, keep your wallet at home. If you are finding fun, then by all means do whatever you want to. But if you're not having fun, keep your wallet at home.
Right, like I said, like I told my guys, this eight of the series. It's going to be tough. Just do what you can, and that's all you can do. If you can't do nothing, then we'll work on the next month.
Cool. Well, I guess we're going to call it there then. Ren, I appreciate you jumping on here and hanging out with us.
Thanks for the invite, man. Really appreciate
no problem, man. You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Ren.
A big bonus. Good.
And well, I guess I'll say thanks to Dan and Ross too. I mean, whatever you guys. But hey, thanks for watching us, guys. Give us a thumbs up and a subscribe if you haven't already, and direct your friends to us and have them check out the thing if you found anything useful on tonight's show. And until next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, guys.